competition right now in housing is increasing largely because interest rates are moving in the right direction. We're going to talk about that as well as home ownership literacy, like understanding all the homeowner terms. There's a lot of terms that we're finding that a lot of buyers and sellers don't really understand about until they actually own a home.
So, and now let's talk about insurance. Why is your insurance so high lately? We'll show you a graph and explain that to you. Welcome to Maximum One Market Update. My name is Ming Richardson. I am part of Maximum One team.
All right, so we want to jump right in here and talk first off about kind of what's happening with mortgage rates. And so mortgage rates are moving. They are moving in a very positive direction. I think we're going on 7 or 8 weeks where mortgage rates have continued to trend
My
down, which we're
goodness.
very thankful for, right? And so, but with those declining rates, we're closer to the mid sixes now. And with these rates declining, what we're seeing is home buyer activity is up. Mortgage purchase applications have increased. The number of buyers out looking in here, the number of searches where folks are going into Google and looking for homes for sale are up
Hmm.
almost 10% right now. So and we're trying to make that kind of clear that we're seeing an uptick in market activity right now. See, as the rates continue to decline, the number of people that jump into the market is more and more.
Well, it's about affordability because as the interest rate decrease, the affordability for the individual is greater.
And so we want to be really careful because on one hand, we know, as real estate professionals, it's really easy for you to look at us and just be like, all they want to do is just sell a house. And really, when I say now's a good time to really be looking at the market, now is the right time to really be getting in. We are getting kind of ramped up moving into our spring summer buying season. Even then, more homes close during the summer season than any time, but a lot of those homes
Absolutely.
go under contract during the spring. And so we see where the number of buyers getting into the market are steadily increasing as we get more and more buyers into the market. Guess what happens to prices during that same time frame? So, like the prices, they start moving up higher during the summer as well because it's supply versus demand. There's more competition, and so what we're saying is don't miss out on your opportunity. Right now is a really good time to get in before
The
we start.
summer season
Yeah,
comes because during summer, think about it, after, and I know some people don't even want to bother to look because they don't want to deal with graduation, end of school year, tests, and all that stuff when they're helping their children. But the thing is that if you wait until then, a lot of people are doing the same thing. So if you can jump ahead in front of everybody else, I think that will help you
we
tremendously.
just think it's a great time to jump to the front of the queue right here. So
Sure.
don't miss out on that option. All right. Also, we want to talk a little bit about understanding home ownership because there's a recent study out and it talked about how many homeowners didn't really understand like key home ownership terms and what are some of the like terms and terminology that's being used and what do they really mean in home ownership. So in this study it said that like did you understand home ownership terminology before or after, and three out of four homeowners said we didn't understand this until we actually bought a home.
Right. As they were going through the process, they kind of learn as you go versus being ahead of the curve and understand some of the definition and what is expected in the purchasing process.
See, only 25% understood before they actually bought a home. And we think that's a really scary place for someone to be. If you're looking at buying a home and three out of four don't understand all the terms,
Hmm.
that's not a really good place to be. So, in the same study, they said, hey, do you understand property taxes? Only 62%, 62% did not understand property taxes. Only a third actually understood and knew what their current mortgage rate was.
Hmm.
And a lot of folks don't even understand what a mortgage payment really
Or
is.
consist of.
And so, we wanted to just kind of take a minute, kind of explain some of the key financial terms and key home ownership terms. And so, like, the first one is going to be like down payment. How much down payment do you really need? It's going to be highly dependent on the loan that you're going to take out. You know,
And sometimes you may have with a certain, the lender's going to tell you the basic of the loan. So if you happen to buy in a certain area where there's a down payment assistance, it does help. It will reduce
Yeah.
your outlay of cash. But on the average, the lender's going to inform you this is the average layout of cash for this type of loan.
The average first-time buyer home down payment is 6%. To get an FHA loan, you're going to need 3.5% down to get an FHA loan. That's our most popular loan product for first-time buyers and that kind of stuff. For a conventional loan, you may only need 5% down, but there are a lot of other expenses that come into there, and a lot of folks want to put as much down on a home as they can because it's going to lower your interest rates.
Well, when you pay 20% or more, what happened is that you're not having to carry the mortgage insurance premium. And that can, depending on the purchase
Yeah,
price, that can run
for a
about.
lot of our first-time buyers, that's not really an option for
No,
them to
it's
put
not
that down.
realistic. So, but these things that you need to know so you can make a wise decision
Yeah.
whether or not you want to wait and save up the money for the down payment, or
Yeah.
you want to go ahead and buy the house today, and you're okay with refinance in 6 months.
And then one of the next ones here is, how do I improve my credit score?
That's
And
huge.
it really is a big one because the higher your credit score, the lower your payments are going to be, the lower your interest rates are going to be. So
All right.
understanding that you got to pay your bills on time every single time. That you don't want to take out a bunch of excess credit, but you also don't want to close credit because you want
It
to look at
actually
what you're
hurts you
yeah
when you close a credit.
yeah because it changes your credit utilization rates. Again, like you do need to have a savings account set up. These kind of things. Meeting with a lender is one of the best things you can do to help improve your credit score. And I know that sounds really generic, but here's the bottom line: when you meet with a lender, they're going to explain all these things to you, but they're also going to go through and talk about how much you can afford, price versus payment on these kind of things. They're going to spend the time with you. A lot of your real estate professionals are going to be really leery about giving too much financial advice because they're trying to stay in their lane.
Well, not only that, they don't know what the current rate today market current rate based on the lender and what's being published out, and plus they don't have the privilege of your credit score because your credit score is going to dictate what interest rate that you're going to be placed at.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of variables that the lender look at, not just the credit and what have you, and your income to debt. That's another arena they look at. So a lot of those questions are answered by the lender. Just remember, they're the gatekeeper, so to speak.
Yeah.
Without the key from them, literally, you can't walk into a house with your new keys.
And so we would love to put you with Sharon Thompson. She is our
preferred lender.
Well, she's our mortgage partner, and so she'll be glad to kind of go through these with you, and we'll share her information here in just a minute. Now, one of the things that a lot of folks don't understand is what is a mortgage. See, if you go out and you start looking out into anywhere, you'll see all sorts of folks
the internet superhighway.
Yeah, out on the
TikTok.
Yeah. Well, it just kind of depends. But the whole bottom line here is a mortgage payment, a true mortgage payment in our terminology is called PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. However, you'll see a lot of online mortgage people that will only advertise
2 out of 4
principal and interest. So let's say you can buy this home for only blah blah blah. Well, they're only talking about principal and interest, and like taxes and insurance. That's a big
huge.
deal, right? And I mean, right now we're all looking at property taxes, what that's running. We're also all looking at what's happening with insurance, and we're going to talk about insurance in a minute as well here. But like you got to understand that a true mortgage payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And so understanding that, because that's a key component to your mortgage. A lot of folks also don't understand what their interest rate is. That interest rate is largely going to be influenced by your credit score.
Absolutely.
And so the lower your interest rate, the lower your payment. It's not rocket science in there kind of thing. Now, one other thing is that 25% of our buyers were very surprised by hidden fees. And you have to be prepared when you're buying for all the extras. There are a bunch of other things that a lot of folks don't even think about. You're going to have to pay for a home inspection
and appraisal.
You're going to have to pay an appraisal. You have to pay for those up front right now. You have to stroke a check to those folks
and that
right away.
Doesn't matter whether or not you close on a transaction.
Yep.
So in a transaction, it sounds great in the beginning. It's kind of like, I guess, marriage. You got the honeymoon stage, and as you go through the cycle of buying, there may be some rocky spot, but if you're prepared for it, then it makes that transition much easier than not being prepared for.
Yeah.
And that's what a good real estate agent should be informing you of. What are some of the process?
Well, and we're just trying to help you be aware of what some of these hiccups are. One of the biggest ones we see for especially first time buyers is they don't plan for how much it's going to cost them
Hmm.
to actually move. Especially a lot of our first time buyers, first time they or in the past, they just moved with a buddy in a pickup truck. Normally at this point, you've got sizable amounts of things. But it's not just the moving expense. It's that, okay, I'm going to take time off from work, so I'm
Work,
going to lose revenue. And oh my gosh, the kitchen's not even set up. What are we going to eat? So you end up eating out a lot. All these things really drive up the
utility
cost.
connection, traveling, a hotel if you have to, if you're traveling from out of state. And also, there's just a lot of setup when you first start, when you move to your new home. So,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of folks want to put down shelf liners on all the cabinets. Sometimes folks will be like, "Well, I just want to paint," and those kind of things. All that adds up, and so we don't want you to be caught off guard by that. See, the bottom line here is that about 20% of buyers hold off a purchase because they don't understand. If we can help you with any of this, please, we'd be glad to kind of go through these terms, explain anything to you that you don't really understand on here. One thing that worries us is right now 25% of Gen Zs get their financial
information from TikTok.
yeah, and that to me is kind of
A little
I
scary.
don't hate on TikTok by any means, but by the same
Oh, it's
token,
very entertaining.
yeah, I'm not sure that's where you should really be getting most of your real estate advice from. Even though you'll see this on there too, so yeah, I get it.
So let's talk about insurance. Why should you shop for insurance in Georgia?
Well, but insurance rates are going up, and right now
Well,
we hear all
honestly,
about it.
Georgia got double whammy if you think about it. Georgia's taxes went up this year because the basis of the homes has increased. Plus, the homeowner insurance went up, and the reason being we are rated number 2 in high risk.
Well, and see, everybody thinks when you think about natural disasters and those kind of things, you think about like the landslides in California, the fires in California, the hurricanes in Florida, that kind of stuff. But what they actually have done, so the insurance companies got together and they went through and they said, which state has the highest number of billion-dollar disasters for the
Claims.
last 20 years. And so the number one state in the US, Texas, actually, which we were kind of surprised by that. The
It's
other
a
thing,
big state.
it is a big state, but still they had almost $150 billion disaster events.
But if you look at the populations versus the claim, I don't know if they did it on percentage or just on
Well,
dollar because
but
that makes a
you're getting
difference.
nitpicky about
I
something that
know
don't matter. But
it
like
does.
there's $150 billion events there. Number two in the U.S. is Georgia. We
Georgia.
come in at $103 billion disasters over the last 20 years. And so we come in higher than Florida at 65. We come in higher than, gosh, just about, yeah.
Alabama.
I mean, like all around us, like
Yeah.
Alabama's 80, South Carolina's 70, that
And
kind of stuff.
most of ours is due to tornadoes.
Tornadoes
Yeah,
is
we
one of the
wouldn't think,
biggest ones out
well,
there.
due to the hurricane, the coastline, but it's about location too. So don't think if you're in state Georgia that you're going to get hit as much. But the outer coast where a lot of hurricane with
Oh,
tornado, and sometimes tornado do come through inland as well.
well, but the main reason that we're bringing this up is because a lot of folks in Georgia think, gosh, we don't get hurricanes, we don't have wildfires, we don't have mudslides. Surely our insurance rates are not going to reflect that. Yes, they do. Our insurance rates have gone up. I mean, astronomically. They really have. Our insurance rates are going up high, and they're going up high in Georgia because of these reasons that we gave you ahead.
Correct.
So if you are looking to buy, or if you are an existing homeowner, do we
Shop
think that you need to
around.
be shopping? A
Absolutely.
1,000% right now. You need to be looking at how much your deductible is versus how much, like how much are you willing to take on the chin on there? Can that lower your rates? Like that deductible amount is really important. What are you covering? How much are you covering?
Correct.
Sometimes we see that some folks we know are really overinsured because they've more than just covered the cost of their home. They cover the cost of their home plus land. Like land is not going anywhere. The land
No,
is staying put, but you do need
correct.
to make sure that you can rebuild that
Home.
home on the same lot. So all these are important things that you got to look at when you are trying to decide it, or negotiate, compare insurance rates. It's really important that you are taking all those into account, and don't think that just that in Georgia we don't have very many. Unfortunately, we do. So
We would love to help you in any of your real estate questions. So please call, text, or smoke message,
smoke signals.
signal,
We'll go with smoke message
message
though.
too, or visit us at
Call us.
max1partners.com. Our direct line here is 678-782-5050.
Have a great week.
Thank you. Have a great day.